Okay.
Can we
Everybody ready?
hang on a sec.
So everybody ready?
Not quite.
Could you introduce yourself?
Yeah. Right. Okay. My name's Martin Ells. I'm the Chief Executive of the Royal Free Hampstead NHS Trust. I'd like to read a statement on behalf of the Royal Free Hospital. Coppets Wood Hospital is the Specialist Infectious Diseases Unit of the Royal Free Hospital. I can confirm that one adult and two children who had lived in the province of Zaire, where there is an outbreak of the Ebola virus, were admitted to Coppets Wood Hospital yesterday. This is a routine precaution to rule out any possibility of a serious viral infection. When admitted, the three family members had a slight fever, but today they are well. However, as a standard precaution, they will remain under observation for a few days. Their condition is currently giving no cause for concern. This is the end of the statement. You'll understand that the doctor, Barbara Bannister, with us today, is not at liberty to discuss the particular details of the patients and their condition, but she is able to answer questions on viral diseases and specifically the Ebola virus.
Dr. Bannister, are you pleased with the way that the precautions have been taken, that should these people have had the Ebola virus, that you were satisfied with the way that they were treated?
Oh yes, I think so. There's a standard routine for looking after people who might have been exposed to dangerous viruses. In fact, the setup's been in place for over 20 years, and it was followed in this case. The people haven't had heavy exposure and haven't encountered anybody who's actually got the virus infection. But as they had been in the affected area in the last couple of weeks, they were admitted for observation, and they had preliminary tests which don't suggest that they have a dangerous virus infection.
Can you tell us what those tests are?
Just general blood tests to look for signs of inflammation, general virus infections and tissue damage, none of which are present.
How seriously should we take the threat of any person coming from Zaire over into this country, the possibility that they may have the virus?
Well, very few people travel from Zaire to this country anyway, so that the chance is small of anyone arriving from the infected area. But if they do, there are facilities in place to look after them, and in the unexpected event that they should genuinely be ill, we can carry out further tests and offer them supportive treatment.
Are they in an isolation unit here?
They're not in a secure isolation unit. They're in a special room of their own, a little suite, where they'll remain for a couple of days until we're sure that nothing else is going to happen to them.
What are their ages?
I beg your pardon?
What are their ages?
Oh, I'm afraid I can't tell you anything, any personal details about the patient. Sadly, that's outside my ethical remit.
It's thought that these people have been in the country for a couple of days before it was actually noticed that they were unwell and had come from Zaire. What threats might there have been if these people had the Ebola virus and they were in the community at large?
Well, the fact that they only had a mild illness would have made them completely undangerous to the community at large. People are only dangerous when they stop being able to look after themselves and their body fluids are not under control.
Had they been in that situation, though, what danger would they?
It's unlikely they would have got to that stage without somebody starting to look after them. And the public health setup in this country is arranged so that someone with early signs of illness can be looked after promptly.
They've been in the town where the virus is focused, hadn't they, in Zaire?
No, they hadn't been in the town. They'd been in the region of Zaire near the town.
Have they been into the area where people are not being allowed out at the moment?
No.
Can you tell us exactly what symptoms they presented with?
A mild fever and tiredness, which is not surprising after their long journey. It's not uncommon for travellers to develop mild fevers, sore throats and tiredness. But in the circumstances, as they'd been in the region where Kikwit is one of the large towns, and they were unwell, we admitted them routinely for observation and to rule out any serious virus infection.
Why did they come to London?
I don't know that. That's a personal matter for them.
Would you like to see any stricter controls on people who are coming in from Zaire?
It's not for me to comment on government policy. I think the fact that these mildly ill people were quickly presented to medical care indicates that the system at the moment works well.
How were they actually picked up?
They presented themselves unwell and were seen by a public health specialist
Where?
in Hackney.
Were there any specific tests for Ebola, or were they all general tests for an indication of a virus?
There are specific tests which are quite fancy and can take a while to do. In the very early stages of the disease, they're less reliable than the general condition of the patient in knowing whether infection's present. These people are now well, and it would be unreasonable to make them have any further tests.
So you haven't done any specific tests for Ebola, you've done just...
No, they're not needed now because the people are not unwell.
So the tests you did were just for any...
General signs of virus infection and tissue damage.
Can you tell me technically what they would have been?
Yes, white cell counts to look for whether there's an immune response going on in the blood. Tests of the function of organs such as the liver and kidney can fail in severe infections, and tests of the blood clotting system. We understand that Zaire is associated more with continental. No.
Are you expecting any visitors?
No. We ask people not to visit until people are released from the observation period. People travel each week from Zaire, and occasionally we admit people from Zaire with tropical diseases into the general unit.
Have you had any
When will they leave? Probably in a couple of days. Okay, well, you'll understand what will happen.
Sort of in an incubative stage.
It's unlikely that they'd have improved after an initial slight fever, yes.
Are these her only two children? She's just got two children.
I don't know the answer to that.
Is she a young mum or a middle-aged?
It's a mother and two small children.
You can't say anything.
I can't say any more than that.
Is it boys or girls? I don't think we should trust the doctor anymore about that. She does have to, she is responsible for the
I do have to be
patient.
careful about a patient's confidentiality. Yes.
I think that's probably enough, isn't it?
Were they staying with anyone else in the first 2 days there in Britain?
Not so far as I'm aware.
So you haven't done any tests for Ebola?
No, we haven't done any of the very fancy virus tests because the people got better before we needed to.
But they went to a doctor in Hackney because
I don't know the details
But
of
you
how
said something
they
about
came
them
to the
presenting themselves
attention.
to a doctor in Hackney, I think.
I only know about it when the public health people detect a possible case. I can't tell you any personal details about the person.
Do you know when they arrived in the country?
I can't tell you exactly the day they arrived in the country, but they haven't been in the affected area in Zaire since early in the month. So they're well on in the incubation period and they'll soon be out of it.
And where have they been into it then? They're in Zaire and then...
They've been travelling quite widely, as
they?
people sometimes do. I can't tell you an itinerary, sorry.
People lost them.
I can't confirm any of their personal travel details, I'm
You said they're not in
sorry.
an isolation unit now. Were they put into one when they first submitted into the hospital?
No, this was not a high suspicion problem, this was a routine problem, and we just admitted them to a comfortable holding area for initial assessment.
And roughly what time were they admitted yesterday?
Or quite late in the evening, sometime after dinner time.
And the tests were done last night or...
They were done last night. We do them straight away.
And you had the results last night or this morning?
Last night.
So there'd been some talk about them having malaria.
I think we're going to have to... Well, the doctor has got to do some...
Infectious and tropical diseases.
Sorry, can you just repeat your name and how you spell it?
Yes, here it is, 2 N's. Bannister. Specialist in infectious and tropical diseases.
Could you just repeat your name and how you spell it? To the camera.
My name is Martin Else. I'm the Chief Executive of the Royal Free Hospital. And do you want the spelling? E-L-S-E.
Thank you very much indeed.
I don't think they have anything specific at the moment. As I say, mild fevers are common in travellers.
Thanks very much.
Just very briefly, and then to enlist the interview.
S-E-L-S-E.
When did the family first come in and what kind of conditions did they present with?
Royal Free Hampstead.
The family came in last evening.
Excuse me, can we talk?
Did they present with?
The family came in last evening. They were all mildly ill with mild fevers, and I'm pleased to say they're well this morning.
What kind of tests have you carried out on them?
We carried out preliminary tests to show signs of dangerous virus.
And they've got...
Really, back again. Shit.